Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Beyond the Veil of Sleep Happy Hours. It is Friday, May 9th, around 6 p.m. Central. Oh, a very exciting show tonight. I think something that everybody's been really looking forward to. Before we get started, with that though, if you have any kind of correspondence for us, please shoot us an email at veilofsleep@gmail.com. And of course, if you're here, jump in the chat. The chat's the best way to experience this whole thing. Feel free to have your opinion, share your stuff, and we'll be coming to you for suggestions for when we play scene or scenes a little bit later, time permitting. So if you've got a suggestion for us to use, feel free to throw it in the chat at any time. Um, just market suggestion, whatever you got for us, and we'll use it. Or we'll use one of them. Everything will be at its softest, a hard PG-13, at its hardest, hard NC-17. So if you've got kids in the room that you don't want to have learn things that might be unseemly to them, eject them from your space. If you or do what you please. Hey, it's if you got kids, it's up to you. All right, so we're gonna dive right into it. I've got Louis Saunders and Tyler Malik here to present and chat through something that I think everybody's very interested in. Let me give you your title screen, and then I'm just gonna turn it right over to you guys.
All right. Man, that's great. I love it. All right. So should we just get started here?
Oh yeah, I leave it up to you guys. No, the
Okay.
segment is turned over to you, Louis. Since it's your segment, I'm turning it over to you to set the context for
I'll
your
set the
conversation and
context.
have it.
Great.
Oh yeah,
Great.
I'm getting out of here. I just want to watch.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Hi Tyler. How are you?
I'm doing well this evening, Louis. How does this evening find you?
It finds me fine. It finds me
Great.
fine. Yeah, so this stems from a discussion on the app Letterboxd around the movie Mulholland Drive,
Hmm.
probably amongst one of my favorite movies of all time. And what I what really kind of spurred this for me is not any animosity towards you, Tyler. I have a great deal of love and respect for you as a friend and as a performer. Uh, so when I saw your review of Mulholland Drive, I expressed just a sincere, you know, a bit of disappointment around how you received this film. So first, if you'd like to maybe give a recap of your thoughts on the film, and you've maybe seen other David Lynch films as well now. So any thoughts you have just in terms of uh, uh, David Lynch, his films, and particularly Mulholland Drive.
Sure thing, Louis. And before I dive into that, I'd like to give a great thank you to you for having me on for tonight's show, and then also to Jorn for having me on the show. It's a wonderful honor to be here, and I'm very excited to discuss this. And there seems to be something that happened on Letterboxd that nobody planned for and nobody expected to happen. What I did was leave an earnest review based off my experience of watching Mulholland Drive. Um, excuse me, excuse me. So I watched the movie and I found it stirring. I found it shocking, and at times I found myself not caring about what was going on screen. You know, in my review here for this movie that I left on Letterboxd was initially 2.5 stars, which, if you're familiar with my Letterboxd, 2.5 stars is a pretty high star rating for what I watch and what I react to. Now, my comment, it seems, led everybody astray to this world in which you all think I quote unquote didn't get it, and that perhaps I'm unable to get it. And I've heard it from Joran, I've heard it from Louis, and also my mother also said that to me recently in a text message. And my review for the film, I left one sentence. I said, "I now have a new personality," is what I said. So I find it shocking that Letterboxd has a 21 comment thread on a one sentence review for it. And just to kind of reiterate some things that were said to me rather unjustly, it's I think it's Mulholland Drive is his masterpiece. It's been years since I've seen it, but I think about it frequently. I think there's a pivotal thing you didn't connect with based on the language of your review. And maybe you can't. There was that, which after that comment, I was at 2.5 stars and I decided to lower it to 2 stars because then I was just kind of set off by the reaction to it. But then, Louis, you caught wind of this because people were telling you about it, and you're not mad, you're just disappointed. And with all kinds of art, it is as much of what you bring to it as what's in and of itself, whatever the hell that means. So
I
I
do. I
think,
was kind of writing a little, yeah. It was a little flowy in my.
yeah, yeah. And I guess I'll kick it back to you with my thoughtful review. I now have a new personality. What is it that you and Joran just freaked out about?
Uh, well, okay. So wow, I wasn't expecting to defend the thread, and I'm happy,
Mhm.
but I'm happy to. There have been a few more exchanges after that. I don't think I got your initial review. I did see the initial 2.5 stars, and could you give some context of what you did after the thread? Because it seems to be a different rating right now. Is that
Mhm.
after we had this conversation, you removed a half a star?
Yeah, I took a half star away. So what I said was to all, thank you for your thoughtful, insightful, and often evocative responses. I've reflected upon your words. I was wrong. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I acknowledge my ignorance. You will find my newly adjusted score by the end of this thought. And so my ignorance was thinking this was a 2.5 star movie when really it was just a 2 star movie.
Okay, okay. So first off, if you feel in any way attacked, I do sincerely apologize. I did that in no way was I trying to go after you in any way. Um, but
I accept, and I accept.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, and uh, I very much, any form of challenging and complex and oftentimes like strange art. Well, I have no issues with someone not finding the things in it that I find. I think like that's the nature of that type of work, right? So from my point of view, it wasn't necessary. It was it was more the way in which the review was delivered than it was the fact that you didn't appreciate the film, right?
Mhm.
If it came across as attacking you, I do apologize for that. Uh, my my I think partially. It's not necessarily a defense of the movie or his work. It's just kind of maybe if we come to a mutual understanding of what it is that the work is about, so maybe we can get more into Mulholland Drive as a piece, and then we'll discuss what it is about the film, besides, the one-line review that you found hard to watch or something you weren't interested in.
Here's the thing. It's a movie. There shouldn't be a whole thought piece after you watch it. You know what I mean? Like, not to be I don't even like Marvel, but you know
Okay,
what I
so
mean?
now we're getting to it.
Now,
Now
you
we're
know,
getting.
no one watches Avengers and it's like, you know what? I gotta go write an essay about, Iron Man's suit being too tight and why that's actually a metaphor for America choking on billionaires when they tax them too much. You know what I mean? My, you know, what I find so shocking about this whole thing is you all keep talking about this art and how it gets interpreted differently and people have different reactions to it. It certainly seems my one sentence review is a bit of art for the way that everybody is reacting to it. And you guys don't even so you guys are seeing that line of sentence and you're interpreting that I don't know what the movie was about, which I find the most shocking thing. Uh,
Okay.
and, and I do know what the movie's about.
Okay. All right. Well, then let's get to that. I'd like to hear what your thoughts on like the actual piece of work. And I do agree that your review was a form of art in that it evoked, right? And we all took different routes about what you did. So
Mhm.
go ahead. I definitely like please, 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 please keep going.
Well, it was a dream. And then it became someone's reality. And their dream world seemed a lot more fun and loving, but also a little bit weird. And then the real world was sad, dark, and harrowing. And there were other elements throughout the movie that made you ask yourself, what the hell is going on? Right? Ooh. Isn't that so cool when directors are like, ooh, I don't know. I don't know what part of the,
Okay. See, this
world this is
this
in.
is where I'm getting
Ooh.
mad.
My mom. So I sent her another text message today, and I was like, "What is it about the movie that you think I didn't get?" And she was like, "It's just a really good movie, and I don't know what else to tell you." And then she called me, and then we're talking about it, and then she kept going on and on and on about David Lynch. She goes, "Have you seen Blue Velvet? Have you seen the monkey and the chicken conversation?" She's like, "Oh, it's really great. It's really great. This is all really great." Part of me thinks you Lynch heads are just saying it's good because you love David Lynch. And now I
Okay.
feel like a contrarian now.
Well, okay. So see, that's okay. Now, okay. All right. I didn't realize I was gonna try to keep this real nice. Uh,
And
no.
even Lauren even texted me and she goes, just remember, no one thinks you're dumb, only that you have dumb thoughts. You
I,
know,
I she's very true, and we all have dumb thoughts. So I think yes. Okay, so how about this? I'll give my sincere thoughts on this piece of work as well as how it fits into what David Lynch does, right? And who he was and what he did. Um, so like I came to art through David Lynch, right? And so I don't actually like hold up some sort of barrier and get defensive, particularly about like people not enjoying it or not understanding it. But just so you
well,
understand
well,
that,
well, well, well. I certainly it was enjoyable, and I certainly understood it.
okay, all right. Okay. Okay. Let me just I'll get through you know I think there's that ooh David Lynch uh that's the tone that I want to address, I think, a little bit, right?
Hmm.
In that I think there's an assumption of lack of sincerity from the artists themselves that is the part that I want to push back on a little bit. Is that I think what I think makes Lynch stand out, and he's not the only artist, right, who I believe does this. It's just that he was my entry point into like this type of film. And my overall thought on David Lynch is that it all feels true to his thought process, whether or not the end product is something that is always entertaining or sometimes it's challenging, sometimes it's completely inaccessible, but it always feels to me from a sincere place. And I think if you like I like I've read every book about him. I like back in high school, I wrote a like a book report, or like I did a report on David Lynch in high school, and absolutely like I was ripped apart in class. But my, you know, what it was is there was a sincere access to something that at that time I didn't like understand, but I was very curious about, right? And it opened up my world into other types of art um, and that kind of stuff. And then, you know, kind of understanding Mulholland Drive as a piece, uh, what I love about Lynch particularly is his ability to both access something that is like truly like almost like his subconscious in a way and express that through a medium, but also allow for the form and accidents and things like that to manipulate it into what it eventually becomes. He was always very open to, I might have an idea, but I also know that as I try to realize that idea, things happen on the way. And he was very like collaborative and very open to an idea changing. So what we see in the final product, if you think of Mulholland Drive, it actually started as a pilot for a TV series. It was supposed to be this kind of long arc of something, and it was not picked up, right? So he had this pilot, which was kind of the first part, you know, of a Mulholland Drive, and he had this much larger idea. So he had to kind of realize that in a much shorter structure. Which I think those types of limitations for an artist like him, when he has free reign, it almost like it almost detracts from the final work, right? I think when he's working within limits, it's actually that's why I think Mulholland Drive is among one of his best works. With things like Eraserhead, it was like budget and time and you know things like that. But with Inland Empire, he got to do whatever he wants, and it just kind of it's so much. It's like it's not necessarily something that I can like rewatch. Mulholland Drive, I think, like is the perfect kind of melding of his kind of subconscious thoughts about this idea. I think that there is a structure to it that is like feels like a puzzle box, like a mystery box, that there's lots of details that you can pull through. I don't think there's necessarily like you obviously understand the structure of the film, which like it I think is
Thank
like
you.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Thank
no,
you.
that's
Finally,
great.
thank you. Thank you.
No. I yeah. It's just that it's that feeling of mystery. It's that feeling of what's on the other side that is supposed to be the thing that you or you know it's him putting that on the screen and asking you to like you know have your own your that's that sentence in my like long response in Letterbox was that I think he understood that art was not just about his point of view on screen. It was your relationship to that point of view, right? So he's creating a sense of mystery, and he has these ideas in his head, and maybe there is something larger in his head, but that's not the point. The point is that you're coming to it from your life and your perspective, and that it evokes something slightly different in you than it does in me, which is why I think I appreciate films like this a little bit more. And I love Avengers, and I love things that tell me what to think and feel. I think that's great. What I really like, is something that tr like makes me uh, makes me think about something in a different way, or even challenges my own points of view, or even just like sits me in a feeling that that I can't like let go. Um, and I'll just finish this long tirade with like my story about seeing Mulholland Drive. So Mulholland Drive came out in November of 2001. So that was a month after 9/11. And I was in college, and the world was just quiet. Like people weren't doing very much. First off, people were a little scared and sad and all that stuff. But this movie came out in a little art house theater in Richmond, Virginia. And I went to the earliest showing possible the first day it came out. And I got coffee because of Twin Peaks and how much, like, so I wanted to, like, experience it that way. And I watched it and I left the theater. I turned around and went up to the box office and I said, I'm just gonna watch it again. And the guy was like, no one else is here. You just go back in. So he just let me go back in. And then I did it again. I watched it 3 times in a day.
Yeah.
So uh, you know, I completely understand, your access point to it did not have the same resonation. I do not expect a resonation, that's not a word, but does not have the same resonance to you as it did to me. But uh, that kind of that kind of why do movies have to be like this? That's the part that I'm pushing back against because I think it's very important that there are films like this, and it's not just Lynch. There's lots of other filmmakers that are doing something very similar. I'm
And
done.
and I agree with you that it's cool that movies have this and that people reflect on movies and they watch it. And I don't give a shit about Marvel movies. And um, but there's a lot that you said there in that concise point about
Sorry.
you know, an artist being evocative, and the product he delivers might not be the product in his mind. And it's more so how the audience reacts to what he creates or she creates or they create, which is, I find quite profound. And it does drive me back to my letterbox review in which I said I now have a new personality. Because when I left that review, it was clearly not my full introspection of what I experienced while watching the film or my full reaction about what I saw while watching the film, but it did clearly have an evocative shockwave throughout our tight-knit community for Movie Club to all react to it. So I found that to be quite profound. And I like that Lynch is a discovery filmmaker and discovery writer. Like I read that it was supposed to be a pilot and that I think it was ABC got rid of all the
Mhm.
costumes for it and it pissed him off, but it turned out to be a blessing in disguise because then he got to do a lot more with the story. You know what I mean? And it's nice that he doesn't maybe maybe he has an idea of where he wants to go, but he doesn't know how he's going to get there, which I think is very fun. I'm a big fantasy book reader, and a lot of fantasy writers are like that, or the bad ones are. George Martin, he has no idea how to get to where he's going. You know what I mean? He has an idea, but he doesn't know how he's going to get there. And what's the result? It's been 17 years since he wrote a book. It's not about him. And bring up all these other movies. We have to keep it. Jordan, I'd like you to moderate a little bit more here because you're sitting on the sideline, just kind of having a good time. All these other movies
I am
keep
having
getting
a good time.
all
It's a
these other
great time.
movies keep getting brought up, throughout this conversation. And while that's beautiful and while that's nice, today is supposed to be about Mulholland Drive in
Mhm.
that movie, Mulholland Drive. Okay, we talk about, Eraserhead. We could talk about the monkey and the chicken film all we want, but all we're doing at the end of the day is detracting from what we're here to talk about today, which is Mulholland Drive. And yes, that is beautiful for you to. You had a choice to either serve in the army after 9/11 or see Mulholland Drive again for a third time, and you chose to go see Mulholland Drive for a third time
You
while
guys don't need me.
while some other Americans, were answering a different Call of Duty. You had your own, I guess, set in place, and to each his own, and I find that beautiful. Now, the movie for me, um, so I was watching it today, and maybe now I just have this attitude built up because of all this negative feedback I'm getting from everybody about my review, about how bad of a guy I am, the way they're reacting to it. I was watching it and I was like, oh, good grief, this is such a snooze, and you know, when I first watched it, Lauren and I watched it together, and I had no idea what the movie was about. Didn't watch any previews. Didn't read anything about it. Lauren's like, "It's a David Lynch film. I'd really like to watch it." Blah blah blah. And so we did. And you know what I thought during the movie? I thought the two ladies were in love. You know, I thought they were in love, and
Uh-huh.
it turns out they were. And I was I was right in my assessment of what was going on. And then I kept watching, and I didn't really understand Justin Theroux or what his point was or his whole role in the movie. I don't know why, Billy Ray Cyrus is in there. Like he kind of cucked Justin Theroux a little bit, which I didn't appreciate seeing that happen to Justin Theroux, all things considered. I would have liked Billy Ray Cyrus to be the one getting cucked at the end of the day. And again, directors make their choices, and I just have to live with it in my seat and watch what's going on with it. But I certainly didn't appreciate that, and it happened multiple times throughout the film. So Justin Theroux deserved better, I think, at the end of the day. And then also, you know, I I like to think that without this movie, maybe we wouldn't have Jack Quaid, because she married Dennis Quaid probably around this time when this movie came out. And nothing against Jack Quaid or anything, but Dennis Quaid is kind of a monster as an actor. I guess I should take my own note and keep it focused on Mulholland Drive and my opinions about Mulholland Drive. So I watched it again today, and thankfully I've already left my review as to what I think about Mulholland Drive, and that it could have been a 2.5 star movie, but all the lynch heads came out of the woodwork to be like, oh, you don't understand what this movie's about, yada yada yada, and that to me influenced the future decisions of the movie. What's it about? Who knows? You know, your whole point was, well, David Lynch maybe didn't get his whole vision out in the movie, and so it's up to the audience to figure out what's going on with it, and wow, who knows? You know, and I find that to be a profound thought then, because then, yeah, who knows? Who the hell knows? And if you go out and you say, what the hell is this about? Who knows? Everyone's like, well, you just don't understand it. It's not meant to be understood, but you don't certainly understand it. And
Well,
thank you. That's my time.
okay. Hey, and first off, I I should have served after 9/11.
What were you thinking?
I know. It's one of the greatest regrets of my life. But the I again, I'm sorry that you feel so attacked. That's not my my goal here. My goal here is to tell, kind of give my point of view on what it is that is important to me. One piece on that last point that you made is, and this is something I've been thinking about in terms of art in general, but particularly with like David Lynch, because his recent like passing has definitely, like, I think, pushed a lot of people to start watching more of his films, and which is, really nice and cool. One of the things that I really appreciate is that I think we try to, as human beings, it's our nature to try to categorize things and place things and structure the world around us when there is chaos, right? And there's lots of lots of like things I try to connect between, just kind of like how we evolved. And now I'm going way out there, but how our brains evolved, right? And what art is into what we've become, and like the societal structures and all the structures that we've built up. And I think what it is about uh, things that access something more chaotic and maybe something more directly related to, immediate like our immediate instincts and our immediate thoughts, and a kind of sincere depiction of that is that, it's not necessarily that there's like a meaning to something, right? Like, I think that's something we're trying to put on it. What I think the way you take in some art, or not, and everybody's different, and the way you take in art is entirely up to you. But the way that you choose to take it in, to me, is more about uh, like what is it that I'm seeing in relation to what they're putting like on a canvas or a screen or music or, anything. And to me, if there's like two dynamics, one would be structure and one would be kind of inspiration, right? And
Mhm.
uh, uh, for me, art that leans to structure and that does try to kind of box those things up, I think uh, I would prefer to see more of the inspiration. So I'd rather watch something that's chaotic and messy and maybe even bad. Not that David Lynch is. I think he was actually a very great filmmaker. I mean, in terms of his like ability to be an artist in kind of all mediums and his framing and stuff like that. But even other art that may be more messy, like outsider art and things like that, the things I love about it is the inspiration, right? And the things that I find fascinating are things that may be more messy, may not have that like structure or meaning, but that to me just evoke, right? And I can see the sincerity behind it. So, you know, not to this isn't a counter to your point of view, but just an openness to understanding how it is that I feel this way, and that it is not just, ooh, I love Lynch. It's just that he actually does. When I watch his films, and even multiple times, I get something new out of them, and I experience a different, uh, more complex feeling from them than I would something that is kind of, again, trying to give me a structured narrative that is easy to understand and tells me what to feel. So that's basically where I'm coming from.
Well, that seems like a pretty good way to wrap it up.
Yeah.
What?
Unless Tyler, unless you have another thought to
He
add
he
there.
he sounds he sounds like an impressionist, who didn't get in the salon for the realism for paintings. He's like, yeah, realism's kind of ass, but you know what I did? I painted a bunch of water lilies, and look how pretty they are. You know what I'm gonna
Hmm.
do? I'm gonna go have my own salon, and all the friends come. I'll
I mean, hey, that's a reasonable point of view. It's very Ayn Rand of you. And I think that, so I mean, maybe that's like you're an objectivist. That's okay. Um, I'm
I don't
so
I don't I don't I don't think I am an objectivist. I don't know. I don't know. I think the
well,
movie it was fine. It was wholly fine. She,
well,
whose dream it probably really was probably the guy around the corner at the diner. It was probably all his dream, at the end of the day,
mhm.
Hey.
and no one talked about him at all, but he was the dream maker and the diner dream, and he was back at the end with the blue key, that's we haven't even touched on that at all.
I mean, it
Oh,
sounds
but
like maybe you liked it.
Sounds like you're interested in what's going on inside the movie. No? Well, I'm thankful for your provocative review. Without you making that review, none of this would have been possible. And I do think that this is a wonderful dive into things. And I suppose I owe you an apology because I certainly didn't mean to insult your intelligence. Really, a review that says now I have a new personality really sounds like you're talking about Naomi Watts's character, which sounds like you don't understand what happened to Naomi Watts's character, but clearly you do. So I guess you're I guess I don't understand your review. So that's
well,
my lack of understanding because it sounded like a commentary on the content. And if it was, then you don't understand the movie. But if it wasn't, then I don't understand your review.
no, can I be honest? When I so it was right after he died, and like I wanted to like it, and then I was thinking, like, if I leave anything critical here, everyone's just gonna think I don't like David Lynch. That might just have to be what my personality is, that
Oh,
I
no.
maybe don't like David Lynch right now. and so and
And
so
this is what it's turned
and
into.
so, and so
Oh,
it's turned into this. And so like when I said, like, I now have a new personality, I said, like, oh, maybe it was just okay, but now also I guess it is a little bit tongue in cheek because it is the whole character arc of her.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, so like the idea that that actually is sort of a meta commentary is brilliant. You did a brilliant job with that review, obviously. Um, one correction and omission, uh, Jack Quaid is Meg Ryan's son, and it Naomi Watts is the lead, right? Meg Ryan's not in Mulholland Drive at all.
Yeah, what the hell did I even watch then? What did I even watch?
Wait, did you watch Sleepless in Seattle?
I think I watched Sleepless in Seattle.
See, now I get the review.
God.
So
It's I'm so sorry, guys.
and the one last thing I'll say to folks, if you have any questions or comments, I encourage you to find the letterbox thread and leave your question or comment there.
21 comments. It's ridiculous. It's not a social media app. Why are there 21 comments on it?
What? Well, let's drive those comments up if you've got any questions or comments, just to make it as legendary as possible. Thank you both so much, and especially Tyler. Thank you because you came into an environment where you could feel attacked on all sides. You made sure to come prepared, well dressed, and driven. And I think that we've got to thank you for that. I think we have just enough time to play a scene. So let's do it. I think Nick, you're still hanging around too, right?
He's in the chat. He's in the chat.
Yeah.
I was chatting to avoid, speaking up and interrupting the flow.
That's what the chat's for. The chat's for that sidebar conversation that really probably is the primary conversation. So we've got probably just enough time to throw one improv scene up there. So anybody got a suggestion? Throw it in the chat and we'll use it. And get one seat in there and then send everybody on their way. If not, then
there's questions.
Lauren has questions. Great. Well, Lauren, leave those.
That's not what we asked for, Lauren. I'm sorry. We asked for a suggestion. We didn't ask, does anyone have questions?
Leave your questions on the letterbox comment thread. And suggestion for a scene. Okay, great. Perfect. All right, we've got a suggestion from Jack. The suggestion is Ayn Rand.
I have a coffee for Anne.
Ooh.
Here you go.
Oh, thank you.
You're writing over there, huh? You're writing something?
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah. I've got this great idea. It's about being self-sufficient.
Oh, awesome. I have a coffee for George. Ann, sorry. I'm so sorry, Ann. I'm working right now.
No, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm going to go.
Oh, George, there's your coffee. Wait, Ann, do you know George?
Do
you know George?
Do I?
Hey.
George, do I know you?
George writes too. Yeah.
Yeah, you might know me from, around Hollywood or something, but yeah, I write stories. I write little stories that kind of teach us about ourselves.
Oh, I do that too. Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
About how we've got to pull ourselves up from with our bootstraps and not equivocate on what our vision is.
Uh-huh.
What does that mean?
What
does that mean? What does that mean?
What do you mean? What does that mean?
Yeah.
What you said, the stuff you said. What do you mean by you got to not equivocate and pull yourself by your bootstraps?
Yeah, like I know I've got a great idea, right? And there's
going to be a lot Oscar. Oscar, you got your coffees, Oscar?
Oscar,
if you ask me a question,
I got your 4 coffees.
Cool.
There you go.
Thank you. Do you have the code to the bathroom?
I don't.
You don't have the code to the bathroom?
They didn't give it to me yet. It's my first week, so unfortunately I don't.
I remember it.
Oh,
I had it. It's in my notes somewhere. Let me take a look through my manuscript. I penciled it in somewhere.
Cool.
No problem.
I got to change
Oscar,
my baby.
This is George, and this is George and Ann.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Hi.
They're writers. They're a couple of writers apparently.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Oh man.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
is writing about bootstraps.
Well,
And
metaphorical.
George also writes, but George hasn't got a word in edgewise, so we don't really know a lot about George.
Well, he said he's Hollywood,
Yeah.
and he writes about the
Yeah.
human condition. He
We're
got
in
plenty of
we're in-
words in edgewise.
I'm not a creative type. It's just
What?
not
No.
me. I'm a
No?
numbers guy. I got to change my baby in this bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me.
I don't have
I mean-
the code. That's a beautiful baby, Oscar. How old's that baby?
Actually 4 years old. But
You still changing them, huh?
yes.
Wow,
Wow.
4? That's not a baby anymore.
Well,
That's a child.
somehow he's not aging. That's we
Oh.
don't know what's going on. Anyway, but I need to change him.
Can I use that?
Hmm?
Can I use that in my stories?
Oh,
A baby that doesn't
yeah.
age?
A baby who doesn't. It's perfect. It's like it's perfect.
Ridiculous.
It's eldritch and perfect.
Perfect.
It's utterly ridiculous.
Yeah.
Is that
Okay, great.
is that how writing works? You just pull other people's ideas into your own stories?
Or
Well,
you have
to
your own
ask
ideas.
first.
You have your own ideas?
You feel
Well-
extremely driven to put your own ideas to page
Uh-huh.
until
Uh-huh.
everyone sees how right you are.
Oh, is that
Uh-huh.
true?
You know?
And you seem so motivated by this. Is that what's going on in your life?
What's going on in my life? I've got a
I don't-
series of
I don't
people that
know.
don't believe in me,
Really?
but they're all wrong, and I'm
Really?
going to show them. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
hmm
Yeah.
What,
yeah.
what
Okay.
what are they wrong about?
Everything.
Would they say like you're not going to be a writer or something, or they say like
Yeah.
that, like
Oh, they
your
say
breath
I'm not going to
smells?
be a writer. They say, hey, relax, consider other opinions, and I'm like, go, 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 go. I'm building a
Mhm.
masterpiece. I don't have
Mhm.
time for this mealy-mouthed other views.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear that.
I gotta get in that bathroom.
Yeah.
My
I
4-year-old
got
baby just
Yeah.
is shitting all over the place.
I
gotta
got
get
4
in there.
digits. But
You got 4
here's
digits?
here's my thing. I don't know if these are the bathroom digits or the 4 digits of my bank pin. And if I give you my bank pin, I might as well be giving you access to the kingdom.
Well,
Keys to the kingdom.
Can you,
you know?
can you, how about this? Can you just put him in real quick and I won't look. And
Yeah,
then
George, why don't you go to the bathroom and key him in and
George.
see if it
Okay.
opens?
Go to the
Let me
bathroom, let Oscar in.
Let me
real
check it
quick.
out. I've been holding it in for a while anyway, so
I
I'll
also
go,
had a ham
I'll
and
go
cheese
check.
croissant.
Oh, that was you that ordered that?
Yeah.
They told me so the toaster oven caught on fire and broke down, so we can't make anything hot anymore. Is it okay if it's just
I'll take a cold ham and cheese.
You want a cold one? Is
croissant.
that
You
okay?
Yeah.
can't make anything hot anymore, or you don't have the will to make anything hot anymore.
And I am
Huh?
not one of your I am not one of your essays, and I am just a
No, I'm
coffee
just
employee.
saying.
You
You choose failure.
you
is
don't even
what-
know my name. You don't even know my name, and it's right here on my name tag. Close up zoom.
Uh-huh.
Bet you're
Dog?
getting a lot of. Yeah, because you do know it. Okay, I'll get you that.
I've read it.
Okay, I'll get you. I'll get you that sandwich coming right up, Oscar.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you find
Thank
a way
you.
to heat that sandwich. I swear.
Oh,
So 4
boy.
coffees. For
Yeah, 4
yourself?
coffees. Nope, they're for my baby.
You can't feed those. Well, maybe that's why your baby hasn't grown.
Really?
If you're feeding your baby coffee, it could entirely be a stunted baby.
Well, once it got to 2
especially if
years,
it's shitting all the time.
once it got to 2 years old and it wasn't showing any signs of becoming a toddler, I thought giving it coffee would start to speed up the like growth process or something like that. So that was my idea.
Well,
Hey.
I mean,
What
if
do you
feel
say
like
to
that's
that?
the right thing. Yeah, no, if you feel
You two, sounds like you two were hitting it off over here. Okay,
Oh, maybe we were.
Yeah.
Maybe we were hitting it off.
a little hot Sammy over here.
I'm not
Uh-huh.
interested in the single father of a baby that's not growing.
Oh, I didn't say I was single. Anyway,
Yeah, those
Great.
those digits worked.
they
The
did.
digits I used.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Thank you,
And
everybody.
while I was in there, I came up
You went
with,
in.
you know, the baby was, you know, it was born north of the wall, you know, so that's why it's eternal and ageless. It was born north of the wall because the old gods, see, the old
George,
gods
George.
are like they're still up there. They're still they exist up there, and they touch the baby with their special powers. You know what I'm saying?
You creative
And
types.
yeah,
Oh wow, this is
yeah,
cool. This
I
is
yeah.
see
so
him every
cool.
day.
I
I
could
see him.
never. I'm a
It's
numbers guy.
it's it's every day they're in here talking about north of the wall, whatever that means. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And I don't know much about her. I've seen her around here. Oh, Oscar's gone. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's going to change his baby,
I
I
had
think.
to. I had to. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. We're both. We both.
Okay.
You know,
Okay. The number's 1, 2, 3, 4.
that's your bank account PIN number?
Well,
Wait, one, two, three,
well,
four.
yeah, yeah,
One, two, three,
and
four.
now
One, two,
that
three,
you
four.
said it, I never tried it on my bank account to make sure it wasn't both. You know,
Both.
if it was
Oh.
both, like it worked on the door, but if it also works on my bank account, I might as well have just given you the keys to the kingdom. You know,
Oh yikes.
come
You're
on.
you're a
Well, I feel
lord.
guilty using it then.
Don't use it then. Don't use it. You don't got to use it then if you
Well,
feel
you know
guilty.
it, so you may as well use it.
But if it
Just
makes
don't.
you feel guilty, if
It
you feel
makes me feel
guilty,
guilty.
that's not the kind of
Yeah.
coffee shop I joined. It's my first week. I didn't join I didn't join a guilt coffee shop. I joined a guilt-free
Uh-huh.
coffee shop. Give your baby coffee, write some bad poetry.
No, I'm a
Yeah.
numbers guy. All right, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the bath. I'm gonna go.
You gonna go to the
I got
bathroom?
to. I got
You
to.
gotta go to the bathroom?
I actually have to. I gotta go too.
You gotta go
That's the thing.
too.
Yeah, yeah. So
George,
Yeah.
George, was there toilet paper in there when you checked? Because I have not been allowed. Well,
Hmm.
kind
No,
of
no
okay.
TP. I wasn't gonna say anything because I did not wipe my ass before I came out here.
You know what? I'm
Uh,
going to take off.
Where you going, Ann?
And
I'm
Where you
come
sorry.
going?
This
on.
cloud of filth is just too much for me to handle.
What do you
Oh,
mean?
come
You're a
I
on.
writer.
stink.
Ann, you're a writer. We
Yeah.
gotta know how to sing.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
No, I don't need this.
Ann,
I
what do you need, Ann? I know
Yeah.
I'm just a barista with two sleeve tattoos. What do you need? What more
Oh,
do you need?
I can't believe
Hey.
you do that to your body. You know what?
These?
I'm done. Yes, I'm
And-
fine. I'm done.
And
This is
before
Bruce
you
Lee.
go,
This is Bruce Lee with
oh,
nunchucks.
oh, that's sick as hell. What?
Yeah.
Look at
And
that
if I-
thing.
If I flex, he's having a heart attack.
Yeah. just-
No. No. Now stop. Stop.
Oh.
No, what are you doing? Stop. No, stop. Leave the guy alone.
My
Oh
artist
my
did it.
God.
I
Oh my
went into
God.
the tattoo parlor and I said, I'm your canvas. And that's what you
Oh,
made.
that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Oh,
Can I use
almost-
that? Can I use that in my little story?
If you credit me.
You mean the idea of an illustrated man? I think
Yeah.
it's maybe been
Or
done.
or just giving your body up as a canvas in general.
Mm.
But I'll probably just take this whole situation wholesale.
You're gonna write this whole scene into one of your
And-
fantasy books.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. I
Well-
can picture where it's going to drop right in.
Mhm.
You know.
I know
Yeah.
I'm not the most interesting character here because I'm just a barista with a couple of sleeve tattoos, and you're Anne and you're George,
Mhm.
and Oscar has a baby that's possibly a mutant, you know. But I think the normalness of every day, if you make it a little bit more interesting, you might have a hit on your hands. Like, I don't know. I've been having crazy night. I've been having crazy nightmares. Maybe it's I'm drinking too much coffee or something, but like it's like I can't separate my reality from what I'm dreaming. Do you ever
Yeah,
feel
I
that
think
way,
I
George?
gotta go. I think I'm gonna. I think I
I'm
gotta
gonna
go.
take off
Also,
too. This is
Yeah.
Go?
this is
it's
stupid.
getting. Yeah. See ya.
Oh no! I cut open my baby.
Oh no!
Right, great. Perfect. It's just I love you getting the shot in there.
You know, there's something really powerful about improvising a scene when everybody wants to leave it. You know, where everybody but you just goes, I gotta get out of here.
I mean, it is a delicious kind of tension to the whole thing. But we're coming up on, we could go on forever, but we're coming up on 7. We got to get people out of here, get them onto their evenings, get them doing whatever they want to be doing for their Friday night.
Yeah.
Thank you again for making this such a special episode, Tyler and Louie. I think that was great. Hey, let us know if having some serious discussion about art in the movies is something that you want to see more of. Let's do it. I think there was a lot of excitement, and I think that you guys really paid it off through that conversation. The fact that Nick wanted to jump in and had to go to the chat room instead,
Had to.
Good.
meant blood was getting hot. Let's see. I think the other thing that we're going to be that we're doing that I can say is that I've kind of like pushed Louis into agreeing to doing a musical project with me that we're going to call Private Press. So, but in order to do that, we need people to donate. We need to give people prompts and have people donate poems from those prompts that we're going to try and turn into tone poem private press style stuff, like the stuff that Louis loves from the hey Johnny, from the
For a second, it looked like Johnny was blowing me. I just wanted to be clear.
17.
Yep. We know what Louis got in store for Friday night. So if you're interested in doing that, if you're interested in donating us some stuff that we would turn into lyrical content for that, just shoot us an email at veilasleep, veilasleep@gmail.com. And say, hey, I want to do a tone poem or private press or whatever. I'll give you a few prompts to choose from, and then Louis and I will work on that and get it out to you over time. And I think other than that, we'll have more fun stuff coming up. And I hope that everybody has a great Friday night. If you're hanging around, need something to do, go see Holy Goat. They probably are close to selling out, so buy tickets beforehand if you can. And other than that, have a great Friday night, everybody. Thanks all.
Who won?
Yeah, go ahead and make sure that you drop a comment on that letterbox thread voting who you think won in the conversation between Louis and Tyler. And then we'll just tabulate it that way. Beyond the veil of sleep, happy hours.
I'm not putting my camera off. I hope I'm still on here.